All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Metal Bastards Hangout podcast YouTube channel and part two of the Megadeth Deep Dive.
Yeah.
We go from the album A World Needs a Hero all the way up to the current album, The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, we're still waiting to see if me and Metal Mike shows up. And I apologize. We were supposed to do this last night. I ended up oversleeping because I got a fucked up schedule, as you all know. And I didn't fall asleep till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I ended up sleeping past 11 o'clock. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much what's up. And I just figured it's probably pointless to go live after 11 or whatever. And plus, yeah, you know. But anyways, we're here tonight to do part two of the Megadeth Deep Dive here. So yeah, pretty much we left off with Risk. Yeah, pretty shitty way to end off part one, but we ended off with Risk. So now we're going to go into The World Needs a Hero, but before that, Megadeth would put this out in 2000, Capital Punishment. Pretty much just the greatest hits album that had 2 new songs on it at the time. Kill the King and Dread the Fugitive Mind, which Dread and the Fugitive Mind would end up on A World Needs a Hero. Now, Kill the King, definitely a return to the Megadeth that we wanted. The Megadeth of old, let's put it that way. It's pretty heavy, it's pretty thrashy. And yeah, so that came out in 2000, not really much to talk about. It's the last release they did for Capitol Records to finish off their contract with Capitol at the time. So then we get into this album, A World Needs a Hero.
Yeah, but obviously I think there was quite a lineup change. There would be a new guitarist. I don't know who it was at the time, but I'm not aware of who the guitarist was at that point.
Alright, so it was Al Pitrelli. He would come in as the new guitar player, and he came from Sabotage.
Ooh.
He was in Sabotage, and he was in the Alice Cooper band for a little bit.
Nice.
And so yeah, this was Dave's return to metal. Now, does that mean that's a good thing? Well, let's find out. I've also got this freaking reissue that came out of The World Needs a Hero. My cover is all fucked up, as you see. So this cover art is censored because it is pretty graphic, obviously. And this is what I bought on release date back in 2001. I do have a better picture of the album cover here.
Yeah.
Anyways, here's what the uncensored version looks like.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah, pretty much.
With Vic Rattlehead coming out with, it looks like Dave Mustaine on the front.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of, looking at that, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Accident of Birth from Bruce Dickinson a little bit. But except it's not, it's not the clown coming out of the guy. It's like Big Rattlehead coming out of the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I could kind of see that, yeah. So what we got here is 12 tracks. Yeah, 12 tracks. Now, this has a bonus track on it called Coming Home.
Yeah.
Which they had recorded at the time. It might have been on the Japanese edition of The World Needs a Hero originally.
Yeah, but also this would also be the last one for at least a while until 13 that would feature Dave Ellefson on bass.
That's right. Yep. This would be the final album with Dave Ellefson at the time. And It looked like it might have been the last Megadeth album, period, because at the time Dave Mustaine had that accident with his hand where he had some nerve damage and he couldn't play it. And a lot of us thought he was never going to play guitar again. But came back pretty damn strong, which we'll get into later on here.
Yep.
So this album definitely got some criticism at the time. I mean, this is following up Risk, which really got hate. And this album pretty much got the same amount of hate. I mean, yeah, this Dave going back to metal, I wouldn't say it's Dave going back to thrash metal though.
Yeah, that's probably the reason. If they're not going back to thrash metal, pretty much a lot of people would be like, "Yeah, you're going back to your root, back to where you were." Okay, good, but it's, well, let's just say it's nowhere near the level of, like, say something like Countdown to Extinction.
Right, exactly. No,
You get,
definitely not.
yeah,
But to me, this is like a watered down version of Countdown to Extinction. I mean, that's
yeah,
just what I hear. You know. But anyways, get into the tracks. Your Disconnect opens up the album. Not a bad opener. It's an okay track. I kind of like it. You know, again, it kind of has that Countdown Youth Fan Nation type of sound. It's not really thrashy. Then we get into A World Needs a Hero, the title track. This song
yep.
sucks. A world needs
a hero, a fucking hero. Copy from freaking Maiden Slave of All People. And he had that intro for that, his review for that. And he didn't like that album. I don't know what he gave it. He gave it one of those low scores. I think it was either a 5 or a 6.
Yeah. But yeah, this track, it's not good.
Yeah,
it doesn't get any better, and it don't get any better because Moto Psycho is next, and fucking Moto Psycho is another terrible song. Moto Psycho. It's like, what the fuck, Dave?
Yeah,
it's got an all right riff in the beginning, but yeah, this song's pretty damn annoying though. What do we got next here? 1,000 Times Goodbye. I actually do like this track. Yeah, it's kind of silly too, but I kind of like it. You can definitely tell Dave has a lot of anger towards women. Somebody must have did something to him bad in his past, because it's pretty much about a woman cheating on somebody, you know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Burning Bridges is next. It's all right. It's got some okay rips in it. I mean, I don't think it's really anything special, though. It's all right. Promises is a ballad, and this is probably what really pissed off people because this song sounds like a leftover from Risk. I mean, yeah, it's just a straight up ballad.
Yeah.
Recipe for Hate, Warhorse. Now, this one kind of returns to the thrash sound a little bit. Like, it starts off pretty dark and slow, then it does pick up a little bit. It's an alright track, it's okay. Losing My Senses, not good at all. Sounds like a leftover from Cryptic Writings, it's not good. Dreading the Fugitive Mind is the best track on this album. Now this is what this whole album should have sounded like. Great song. Silent Scorn, just a little instrumental acoustic piece, which Megadeth does use in live samples before, you know, they begin their shows. Wait. No, I apologize. It's at the end of the shows. They play Silent Scorn as an outro. Return to Hangar 18 Part 2, pretty much. It's good, but not as good as the original Hangar 18. So it's probably the second track on the album. And then When, the last track on here, basically a ripoff of Diamond Head's Am I Evil? And also Dave's kind of ripping himself off in the beginning because the melody in the beginning sounds a lot like Call of Cthulhu.
Dang. It took him years to finally use something from that song.
Right, totally. I mean, so yeah, that's A World Needs a Hero in a nutshell.
Yeah. Would you agree on, because I think Megadeth, when he reviewed it, he gave it a 6. Would you agree with that? A 6 out of 10?
I would say probably about a 6 out of 10. Yeah, 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's got a couple all right tracks on it, but you know, it's nothing special. In the bonus track coming home, it's another ballad. It's just not good. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously a lot of that, because that would be probably the only time you would have that lineup, because I think, going into a little bit of history as I'm now would like to take over this, Dave Ellefson left, Al Pitrelli left, Jimmy DeGrasso left, and here comes, basically in a nutshell, Dave Mustaine wanted to do a solo album. Or is there something else in between? Or is there something else in between? He wanted to do a solo album, but the label said no. So they wanted it to be Megadeth, basically. So in comes, I think, returning to the band is Chris Poland, I believe, if I'm correct. I forgot the drummer's name because I know he was in Frank Zappa, but he's one of those, and basically made us like big, called him a no-name drummer, but I don't know who was on the bass at that time. I don't even know if they had a bassist on that album.
Right. I mean, before all that happened, though, Megadeth put out their very first live album, Still Alive and Well. And this came out in 2002. Would be the last album Megadeth would make. Last real appearance by Dave Ellefson. And after this, Dave had his accident, and we never thought he was going to play guitar again at the time. Then the stupid little cash grab thing came out, Still Alive and Well. Really nothing special, to be honest.
Yeah, but basically, Dave wanted to have a solo album, pretty much. But led
to this,
the system. I don't know who the bassist is, and I don't even know the drummer, but I know the drummer was from Frank Zappa. But as you can tell, Frank Zappa had hundreds of musicians in his band, pretty much. So I don't know who the name was. I don't even know who the bassist is on there.
Well, he used a bunch of session musicians on this album.
Yeah. Well, Poland came back, obviously. Chris Poland came back on that, which was the first time he had been on a Megadeth album since Peace Cells?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's almost, at that point, that's almost 20 years.
So, Chris Poland came back and did some guitar solos here. Didn't rejoin Megadeth, he just played on this album, obviously. But
he just...
So what we're going to do right now, I want to see who the drummer and bass player were exactly.
I knew it was a drummer from Frank Zappa. That's all I remember.
Okay, so I'm going to look it up here now. Hold on. See who it is here. All right, here we go. System has failed. Okay. All right, where's that? Okay. Let's shoot before I go on. I think I forgot to mention this too. Oh yeah, World Needs a Hero came out on May 15th, 2001. I think I forgot to mention that.
Okay, fair enough. But we are now trying to figure out who was on the System is Failed. We know Poland was on there. But I know the drummer was from Frank Zappa, but I don't know the name.
Okay. Jimmy Lee Sloas.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was something similar, like. But he was in Zappa at one point.
Well, he played bass. Vinny, how the fuck do you pronounce his last name?
That's the drummer?
Kalita. Vinny Kalata? I'm probably fucking up pronouncing
But that's the drummer. That's the one who was in Frank Zappa.
Yes.
Yeah, but like you said, they're all session people, pretty much.
Yeah,
there wouldn't be a coherent Megadeth lineup until the next one, pretty much.
Right. So this album was supposed to be a Dave Mustaine solo album, as you.
The label said nope. We want it to be a Megadeth album, and we like to thank the record labels. We like to thank the record labels for making that happen, because this is probably one of the best modern. I guess the best in the 2000s of Megadeth albums, pretty much.
Yeah, this one's definitely a return to form. Now, this is probably what Megadeth should have put out in 2001, as opposed. So, this is definitely more of a return to form. I mean, because it begins right away with Blackmail the Universe, and it's just a pure thrashy tune. Absolutely killer stuff. What else? Died Dead Enough. Now that's all, man. That track's really freaking awesome. I really enjoy that one. Kick the Chair sounds like it could have been on Rust in Peace. It's just fast and vicious.
Yeah.
Probably the thrashiest tune Dave wrote up to that point. The Scorpion's really interesting. It's got like it's mid-paced, obviously. Kind of has like a dark, creepy vibe to it. It's a good song too. Tears in a Vial, or Tears in a Veil. Yeah, man, that's another pretty damn solid track too, I think. I mean, you're still getting a lot of like the Countdown to Extinction sound on here. You know.
Yeah. But it's the closest. Yeah, but it's the closest you're getting to a modern Megadeth album that's back to thrash, pretty much.
Yep, exactly, yep. Pretty much. I know Jack's just a little 40-second track. Back in the Day is probably one of my favorite tracks on this record. Now, this one's definitely back to the thrash speed metal type of sound and the complex riffing. Something That I'm Not sounds like it could have been on Countdown to Extinction or maybe Cryptic Writings. Truth Be Told's pretty underrated. I think that's a pretty good track. It gets kind of thrashy at the end. Let's see, Mice and Men.
That's interesting. Naming it off of your track off of a book.
Yeah, right.
I won't be surprised if it's about the book. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I mean, it could be. I mean, I can't remember. I think it might be about the book. But yeah, it's an alright track. It's kind of more in that Cryptic Writings type of style. Let's see. Shadow of Death is a short little, just a short track. Which basically reads off a Bible quote from Psalms 23.
Mm.
Then the album ends with My Kingdom. Yeah, My Kingdom, a heavy song, but probably the weakest track on here, to be honest. Yeah, this is definitely an improvement over A World Needs a Hero, big time.
Yeah, definitely. You basically, that album essentially has saved Megadeth, and we have to take the label because if they had just said yes, this would have just been a Dave Mustaine solo album, and it would have been like, it would have been one hell of a solo album. You would think about it, but thanks to the label, it's the saving grace in Megadeth, pretty much.
Yep, totally. Now, Risks probably should have been a Dave Mustaine solo album. Now I could see that being just a solo album because that sounds nothing like Megadeth, really.
Yeah, the only thing that is Megadeth is pretty much the lineup.
Yep, pretty much. So yeah, the system itself definitely an improvement. The album got a lot of praise at the time. People were happy that Dave basically was going back to his roots.
Yeah.
So then after that, we get this greatest hits album. Nothing to really talk about there.
Yeah, and he would also, I think, would re-release some of his classic albums. Like, I know for a fact around that time he would re-release, a remaster, Rust in Peace, Countdown to Extinction, some of the older albums and stuff like that, and he would clean them up pretty much.
Oh, yeah, those painful reissues.
I think the 2004 reissues and stuff like that are probably the better of all the reissues because, even Megadeth, even Maidenslave praises those ones because a lot of people were talking to him about his review of Rust in Peace, and he was basically talking about the 2004 version of Rust in Peace, and he liked the 2004 version of Rust in Peace than the original version of Rust in Peace.
Ooh, nah, not me. I like the original one better still. Like
he had some criticisms about the originals. He had the guitar sound loose. He said the drums sounded like cardboard boxes on the original. So I would say I would probably say the only thing it might be interesting to see the two digits because I got the original countdown. I would definitely want to hear the old 4 and maybe hear the difference between the two. But yeah, that's what he did around that time. He just reissued all the older material and had tweaked some things up pretty much.
I mean, on the reissues, there's definitely parts that are different. Like there's some guitar parts that were added in that were basically erased from the original recording. Some intros that were added in that were erased. Like In My Darkest Hour has a completely different intro. Sweating Bullets has a completely different intro. They cut out the harmonicas in Train of Consequences on Euthanasia, and they took them out of Have Cold Will Travel on Cryptic Writings. And Risk sounds like it's completely re-recorded. I mean, they do sound way different now. I guess the cool thing about those reissues, though, is you get bonus stuff on them. Like I think I would say probably the 2000 the reissue of Euthanasia is probably the best because you get some tracks that were unreleased on it. I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess. I mean, you get demo versions of some of the tracks too, but I don't know. I think I just like the original mixes better, but that's just me. Moving on.
Yes,
so
we now get a more basically after this. This line would just be for one album because we get a coherent lineup on this next one. We have basically the debut of James Lomenzo, who's been in a lot of bands prior to this one. So I think to myself, Pride and Glory and Black Label Society are some notables. So he's played with Zakk Wylde a bit. So cool option. You get James Lomenzo, but then you also get the Drovers. You get, I think, Glenn Drover on guitar and Sean Drover. And Sean would be with the band up until Super Collider. We'll get to that colossal turd at some point.
And I did it again. I forgot to mention the date that The System Is Spelled was released on. September 14th, 2004, excuse me there. Is when The System Is Spelled came out. United Abominations came out on, I'm just going to say it now before I forget again.
Yeah.
May 15th, 2007. And this would be the first album they did on Roadrunner, too.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, this album's literally my introduction to Megadeth, pretty much. This was the first Megadeth album. This was the first Megadeth album because, like I said, late into the metal stuff. So I got into them around that time, around 2007. So I was getting into some metal around this point. So Ozzy and stuff. I saw that. I'm like, I'll get it. You know, and just popped it in. And the few tracks that stand out to me, I love the most. Sleepwalker and the title track. I love those songs. God.
So yeah, I mean, and this album was produced by Andy Sneap.
Ooh, that's a recipe for success right there.
So, yeah, Andy Sneap being a famous metal producer who's produced pretty much a lot of great albums.
Yeah, pretty much. Most recently, he worked with Dream Theater. He saved Dream Theater, pretty much.
So yeah, Glenn Drover, Sean Drover, the only album Glenn Drover would do with Megadeth.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which Glenn and Sean come from a power metal band called Adillion. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I got a couple of their CDs, but yeah. So yeah, United Abomination. Oh man, this freaking album. Now this one's definitely more of a return to thrash, I would say, compared to, the last record, The System Has Spelled. Yeah, Sleepwalker. This song just freaking kicks ass. What
Yes.
a great way to begin the album. Good, speedy, thrashy. The middle section reminds me of, the middle section of this track sounds like it could have been on Rust in Peace. Really good stuff. Washington is next. Oh, man. This song right here is really killer. Kind of reminds me of Iron Maiden, this track. I'm trying to think of which Iron Maiden track it kind of reminds me of. Maybe a little bit of Hallowed Be Thy Name where it gets heavier. But yeah, it's another solid track. Never Walk Alone. Never Walk Alone. A Call to Arms. Another excellent track. Could have been on Rust in Peace, I think. Really good stuff. United Abominations, the title track, is next. Seems like a lot of people don't care for this track. I don't know. I think it's alright. Gears of War is a great heavy one. Really good stuff. Blessed Are the Dead. Not bad. Probably one of the weaker tracks on here, I guess. Play for Blood, man. Now this track freaking kicks ass. I love it. A Totally Mon, Set Me Free, featuring
Yes, it has. That's another one. I totally forgot about that. I totally forgot about that one.
featuring
Christina Scabia from Lacuna Coil.
Yep. I don't know, man. I don't think this track really needed to be re-recorded. That's just me, though. I mean, I don't know. I think I still like the Euthanasia version better. Apparently, this one sped up a little bit and played a little faster. I guess it is. Yeah, you know what? It probably is played a little bit faster. American Stan. I actually really like this track for some reason. I know it's a lot of Dave's spoken words, but I don't know. I like it. You're Dead's another killer track, really thrashy. And Burnt Ice ends the album on a good note because it's another pretty thrashy tune. Yeah, man, this album, man, I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that freaking album cover, man, that's got to be one of my favorite Megadeth album covers. The artwork is just freaking awesome on here. It's weird because it kind of reminds me of the artwork of Somewhere in Time by Iron Maiden a little bit for some reason.
Oh, what? The album cover?
Well, the artwork for the album cover.
Yeah, here's the thing. I reckon because I recognize it. It's the same. It's a little bit more of an updated version of the Peace Cells cover. Look at the background of both because you can clearly tell it's like both look like the UN building from New York. You know, that's what.
That's true. Yeah, it does kind of have that feeling too. But yeah, the artwork on here is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I like the back of it too, where they make Eddie look more like a human. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, you got the angel on there, but yeah, that's basically what it is. It's the Peace. It's pretty much the Peace Cells, but who's buying cover pretty much.
Oh man, I got to tell you a story about this. This would have been about 10 years ago, probably at least.
Ooh.
Our guitar. We used to have a music shop here in town. They actually had the Megadeth guitar, or they had the Flying V guitar with the United Abomination album cover on it. And at the time I was broke, but I was getting paid in a couple of days, and I was planning to buy that guitar. I go back to try to purchase it, and somebody already fucking bought the damn thing. I'm like, son of a bitch. Because I really wanted that guitar. Man, it was a really cool looking guitar, too. I mean, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So moving on. 2 years later, we get this album, Endgame.
Yep. Gone is Glenn, and in comes Chris Broderick. Pretty much.
Chris Broderick joins the band, and holy shit. If you thought they stepped it up on United Abomination, they even stepped it up more on Endgame. Now, this one's definitely a thrash album for the most part.
Yeah, I remember freaking. Yeah, he said. Yeah, I remember with Maiden Slave reviews and stuff like that. He said this album had some thrashy moments, but he did say for the most part the album is pretty much heavy metal, like Countdown.
It does have Countdown to Extinction. It's like a combination of Rust in Peace and Countdown to Extinction, I think. I mean, for that time, I remember when I got this, I was just blown away by this freaking album.
Yeah, I got it when it was brand spanking new, too. Like, this was the first one I ever got when it was really new, and I was really into the band at that point.
Right. And Dave definitely releases a lot of albums in September, because this one came out on September 15th of 2009. Again, produced by Andy Sneap and Dave Mustaine.
Yep, once again, another success.
Oh, God, yeah, this freaking album just smokes. I remember the first time I heard a Head Crusher, I'm like, oh, shit, this is good.
Yeah, that freaking solo from David, like, just that solo intro from the guitar solo intro from Dave, oh my fucking God. That just stuck out to me, like, love it.
Excellent stuff indeed, yeah. So yeah, man, this album, oh man, probably the best Megadeth album of the modern era to me. One of them, I don't know. That's kind of tied between this album and another album that we'll be talking about later on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just, yeah. Great intro.
So yeah, this is the first time they did an instrumental, like an opening instrumental on an album since So Far, So Good, So What. Which this instrumental freaking kicks ass. Then we go into This Day We Fight. Oh man. Damn, this song fucking rules. Really technical and fast. Very Rust in Peace sounding indeed. 44 minutes. Oh, this is another really good track too. Now this one could have been on probably Countdown to Extinction easily.
Yes.
Yeah, really good track. I like the atmospheres in this track. It's pretty cool. 1320 is just another thrashy tune. Now this track sounds like it could have probably been off of maybe So Far, So Good, So What. It's kind of like 502 Part 2, to me at least. Bite the Hand. Oh man, this is another pretty thrashy tune. Really good stuff. Bodies. Now, Bodies sounds like it probably could have been on Countdown to Extinction.
Yes.
This track has one of my favorite outros, too. It gets really fast at the end of it. And there's just some excellent guitar solos at the end of this track. Endgame. Oh, the title. This song fucking rules. I absolutely love it. I mean, just really good stuff. The hardest part of Letting Go, Sealed with a Kiss. It's a ballad pretty much, but it gets pretty heavy near the end of it.
Yeah. I liked it.
I like it too. I mean, I think it's pretty damn good. Apparently Dave Mustaine's wife hates the track, though, from what I've read. Head Crusher. Oh, Head Crusher.
Yes.
Man, this song is just straight up thrash. It's just kick-ass. What more can be said? Like Ryan said, the fucking guitar solos on this track are absolutely
pretty much the opening solo from Dave and the solo from Chris. Chef's kiss. It's fucking good.
Hell yeah, absolutely killer. How the story ends. Track 10, another good track. Sounds like it could have been on Countdown to Extinction too. Actually, there's a part in the song that sounds like It sounds a lot like another track off of Countdown to Extinction. Oh, I'm trying to think. Okay, the guitar solo in this track really reminds me of This Was My Life from that album. Then The Right to Go Insane ends the album. Pretty awesome ender. A pretty awesome ending track. Again, kind of has that Countdown to Extinction feel to it. But then it gets pretty thrashy near the end of it, and you get some great guitar solos. I mean, this album. Ooh. Yeah, this fucking album to me is a 10 out of 10. Yep, I didn't really rank the album.
I really wanted. I really think a 10 because I got a pretty good 9.5. It's a really great album. I thought for me there were some moments on it that I'm like, I don't care. To me, nothing with Megadeth is going to be. Some albums are pretty close. I will say that. I would definitely say the new album, when we get to it, is pretty damn close. But I don't think any of them are as close to being perfect as what Rust in Peace was.
See, yeah, this is a weird one because to me, I think this album would be like a modern day Rust in Peace in a way. I mean,
yeah, because they didn't. He even said that he even mentioned that it was like the Rust in Peace of this generation, pretty much. Right. He kind of, and then he regrets saying that because it does have a few thrashy moments, but pretty much for the most part, it's pretty much he said it. He retracted himself and basically said, "This album is pretty much heavy metal." Oh, they had not, outside of The System Has Failed, they have not been a thrash band legitimately since Rust in Peace.
True. I mean, you still get, I get what you said. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You still get, you still get thrashy moments, but but
you don't get, you get some moments where are close, but they're not full on a thrash metal masterpiece like Rust in Peace, because it's kind of hard to follow up on a literal masterpiece of an album like Rust in Peace, pretty much.
Oh my god, exactly. I mean, that album's just impossible to beat.
Top, pretty much. Yeah, it's impossible to beat. It's even impossible to beat frickin' Countdown in Peace self. You'll get close, but it's a close but no cigar type deal. You might beat one or two of them, but there's no way you're going to be able to beat all three of those, because those are the quintessential Megadeth albums, pretty much.
Oh, by far, man, definitely. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So then a couple years later, we get another lineup change.
Yep, Dave Ellefson comes back!
Yep, Dave Ellefson returns to Megadeth after...
Also during this time, because they were doing the 20th, he came back during the 20th anniversary of Rust in Peace, I believe. And also during this time in between, the Big Four happened. The Big Four concerts at Sofia and Bulgaria, basically of all of them, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax, Metallica, all together for the first time ever during this time period. I remember getting the DVD for this and was just completely blown away. And it got me into... at the time, I already knew about Megadeth, but it got me into Anthrax. And it made me love Metallica even more at that point. But yeah, like I said, during that, Dave Ellefson comes back.
Yeah, that's an excellent freaking DVD. I wish I still had it. I need to get it again.
Oh, same here. I need to get it again, because that brings back memories, pretty much.
So yeah, well, I don't own that on CD. I gotta get that one again on CD. Anyways, so in 2010, Dave Ellefson came back, and they actually released a Rust in Peace live album where they played the whole entire album. To celebrate 20 years, and I saw Megadeth on that tour. So, man, I'll tell you what, that was freaking awesome seeing Megadeth play the whole entire Rust in Peace album when I seen them.
Yeah,
it was really good, and then getting to see Dave Ellefson back in the band. So, yeah, at least I got to see Dave Ellefson back in Megadeth at the time. It was a really good concert too. It was in October of 2010 when I seen them.
Yeah, and then at the time, but that's probably where we get some of the good stuff because we're now getting into not so good areas again. Yeah. Once again.
So we got 13. Yeah, this album.
Basically, Maiden Slave basically said, basically that album is just, a bunch of B-sides and demos, or what his friend Dragon Knight John likes to call Japanese edition songs, pretty much.
Actually, yes, pretty much. That's about
that's pretty much what that album is. It's just that because they wanted to get off of the record label and just, start going down the future and have their own things and stuff like that, pretty much.
Right.
So they basically essentially made an album to get out of their label at that point.
So yeah, this is the last album with Roadrunner, and this was not produced by Andy Sneap. This was produced by Johnny K. Not really familiar with him. Yeah.
Johnny K. Where have I heard that name before? Doesn't he work for this? He might work with Disturbed maybe at one point.
You know what? You might be right about that. Yeah.
Because the name just sounds something that would be like a new metal producer, pretty much.
Yep. So yeah, we got 13 tracks on here because the album's called 13, and yeah, there's definitely a lot of B-sides on here, re-recorded.
Yeah, B-sides. Yeah, re-recorded stuff, all demos and B-sides, and again, Japanese edition songs, pretty much.
So you got the opening track, Sudden Death, which actually was released in 2010. I believe it was on a Guitar Hero game.
Yeah, it was. I remember hearing about that. Yeah, I was like, this is interesting.
I think it's a cool track. It's it's definitely one of the best tracks on the album. So, yeah, it's pretty heavy, a bit thrashy in parts. And you get some excellent guitar solos from Chris Broderick and Dave Mustaine. Public Enemy #1. I think this
that's a leftover. Yeah, I think it's a leftover pretty much.
It's definitely not that great of a track to me. Whose Life Is It Anyways? Yeah, it's fast, but
yeah, you'll get few moments. Basically, what we're going through is basically you'll get a few moments where, this is a pretty damn good song, or a really great song, or something like that. And the majority of it is going to be, pretty much.
Well, I'm definitely noticing something on this album. You can definitely hear the age of Dave Mustaine's voice on this record.
Yeah, this was the album. Yeah, basically that was another thing. That's another point that Maiden Slave made. The vocals were god awful. This was before Dave. This was the album before Dave went down a half step or something, because he can't sing that high anymore, and it was just.
Yeah, that would be on the next album, Super Collider.
We're gonna get to that.
That's what I say too.
Yeah.
But yeah. Whose life is this? Whose life is it anyways? It's kind of average.
This album isn't garbage. It's not Risk garbage, but in terms of a Megadeth album, it's in middle of the road. It's meh, pretty much.
So then we got We the People again, just kind of an average too.
Yep, another average. Meh.
Guns, Drugs, and Money is next. It's got a memorable chorus, but I'm still not the biggest fan of the song. But track 6 redeems the album. Never Dead kicks freaking ass. Definitely the thrashiest tune on here, I think. This one was used for a video game too. I'm trying to remember which video game it was used for. Oh, wasn't it a?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it was on a video game, but I forget which video game it was on now.
There were several video games I was playing around that time of 2011 and stuff like that. But like I said, at the time, I was just like, I was not into Megadeth. This was just like, oh, this was just a skip for me. I was just like not caring at that point with Megadeth because I was so enthralled with freaking the new Anthrax, pretty much.
Right, totally. Definitely a better album too.
Oh, by miles better. Like definitely miles better. It's
So here we go. We go back to the 90s with this next track because this was recorded way back in 94 originally, and it's on the reissue of Euthanasia, the demo version is. So yeah, this track has a writing credit from Nick Menton and Marty Friedman. That shows you how far back it goes. I'm talking about New World Order, which was used for the Duke Nukem game. It's on the Duke Nukem too, I believe, the original. That is.
Here's the thing. Did they actually play on that song? Because if they did, they just got writing credits pretty much.
Yeah, no, it's with Broderick and Glenn
Drover's still there with them.
Yeah, it's re-recorded. It's not the original version of it. It's a killer song. It's just an older song. That's probably the only complaint.
Yeah, this would have been around the time of the Euthanasia stuff. Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. I believe this track was recorded around the time of Euthanasia too, originally, that is.
Yeah, but they didn't put it on the album, pretty much, until much later on.
Right. Fastlane, the next track, pretty much 502 Part 3. Yeah, pretty much a continuation of 502 and 1320. Dave likes to write those songs about racing and driving fast cars every once in a while.
Yep, pretty much.
Pretty cool track. I like it. It's all right. Black Swan. Now this one was on the Japanese edition of United Abomination originally.
Yeah, here's the point of Japanese edition songs, pretty much.
Yep.
Because that's on the Japanese edition of an album.
This track, Black Swan. I'm pretty sure it's re-recorded on 13 also.
Does Glenn Drover get writing credits on it though? That's the thing.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, this one was just solely written by Dave Mustaine. So then we got Wrecker. I kind of like Wrecker. It's another one of them Dave Mustaine bashing women songs.
Yet again.
Wrecker, basically about a woman being a home wrecker or whatever. So Dave must have really been in a bad relationship in his younger years that he's still writing songs about stuff like that.
Oh yeah, he had a bad relationship. Metallica kicked him out, for Christ's sakes.
Right.
Yes, there's his relationship. It was with Metallica, and they just dropped him like a bad habit, pretty much.
Right. Alright, Millennium of the Blind's another old track. This one was originally recorded around the time of Euthanasia, and has a writing credit from Marty Friedman on it. So yeah, I mean, I've heard the original verse, and it's on Euthanasia. Well, the demo of it is. I like the track. I really like the track, but then again, it's another really old track that's being re-recorded.
Yeah.
Deadly Nightshade is next. Pretty mid-paced. I don't know. It's all right. It's nothing really to talk about. Then we end the album with 13, the title track, which is a ballad. So yeah, it's pretty much Dave Mustaine going back to ballad territory a little bit here at the end of the album. That is. And on this track, you can really hear the age in Dave Mustaine's voice. Just really nothing great.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, this album's definitely a huge step down from the last 3 albums that came before it.
Yeah.
To me, it's like a 7 out of 10 album.
Yeah, I could kind of agree. This is one I never really cared about. So this was just...
like I listened to it earlier to refresh on it, and a lot of it still didn't really grow on me, you know. And oh yeah, it came out originally on November 1st, 2011. So yeah, that's 13 in a nutshell. Moving
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, well, let's get this crap out of the way.
So we got.
Let's get this. Oh, go ahead.
Before we get to the crap, though, so in 2012, the 20th anniversary of Countdown to Extinction happened. So they did a live album where they played the whole entire album. Okay, this is the first thing Dave recorded that's tuned down. Because this isn't drop D tune. It's very weird hearing these songs in drop D.
Yeah.
So, this will be the first. Yeah, pretty cool live album, but that's pretty much all it is. It's a live album.
Yep.
So
okay, now. Super Collider. Yeah, okay, not as bad. Okay, yeah. It's not, compared to Risk, it's not that bad. But it's definitely down there with Risk. Because literally, I from what I'm hearing, there's only one good song on here. One good song, and I've heard it's Kingmaker.
There might be 3 on here I actually like. But that's
gasp! Gasp! How could you? Do you like more than Kingmaker? What? Ah!
I ain't saying they're perfect songs, but yeah.
Yeah, Kingmaker is
2013.
Ugh.
This came out June 4th, 2013, produced by Johnny K and Dave Mustaine again. So you know what Johnny K must have produced Disturbed. Because David Draymond does a guest appearance on this freaking album.
Yeah.
Yeah, this album is even more of a step down than 13 was.
Yeah, this is a colossal. I wouldn't say it's dog shit. Like I wouldn't say. Well, to you, it's probably dog shit. I thought this wasn't really that bad. But comparing it, at least if I was like, I would rather listen to Risk than Super Collider. That's just how freaking bad Super Collider is.
Yeah, it's definitely bad. Kingmaker's the opening track, probably easily the best track on here.
Yeah, it's the only one. There you go, people. Only listen to Kingmaker. There you go. Don't listen to the rest of this godforsaken album, pretty much.
And I'll tell you what, you thought Dave Mustaine's voice was bad on 13. It's really bad on this fucking album. You can really hear Dave's voice here. It's bad.
It's no, God.
Oh, God. Super Collider, what the fuck is this track? This song sucks.
Garbage.
Burn. Burn, baby, burn. What the fuck?
Another garbage song. Another garbage song. And I'm like, burn. She said, you said, oh my God. I'm laughing out loud over there when you just sang.
Burn, baby, burn. Burn, baby, burn. This is fucking bad.
Oh my God, man. It's so bad, it's hilarious.
Pretty much, yeah. At least on this one, I can laugh a little. Built for War, you'd think this song would be good, but it's not good. Yeah, it's a bit thrashy, but it's not a good song. It's terrible.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, you forgot to mention, this was the first time they did. This was their first album on their own label called Tradecraft.
Yeah, it's on a major label too. Yeah,
Universal.
I believe Tradecraft is actually Dave Mustaine's label.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, it's issued by Universal. So yeah, first album on a major label since Risk.
Capital One. Yeah. Oh, Risk. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, they're back on a major label again. So
sort of.
With Dave Mustaine's Tradecraft label.
Label. Yep.
Off the Edge, this song's very forgettable. I honestly don't even remember it, so it's obviously not good.
Yeah.
Dance in the Rain. Okay, this has David Draymond guest appearing. This is the other track I actually don't mind on here. It's a little thrashy, it's a little dark, but it's not a great song, but it's all right.
Yeah, it's not Kingmaker pretty much. You're gonna get a few songs that are like Kingmaker, but they're Kingmaker light.
Beginning of Sorrow is fucking horrible. What the fuck, man? It's very forgettable. The Blackest Crow, God, it sounds like Wanderlust Part 2. It's got a country feel to it in the beginning. Just not.
I'll say cool name, but not the song itself, no.
Yeah. Forgot to Remember. Okay, this is the other.
Yeah, basically in a nutshell, we need gotta forget to remember this album existed. Yeah, forget this album and never remember it again. Jesus.
Then you got Don't Turn Your Back. See.
Yeah, don't turn your back, but I'm turning my back on this album, for Christ's sake.
So this track has kind of a cool, bluesy beginning, okay? But then the song just goes nowhere. It's like a lot of these songs, there was no thought put into them, which makes the album, or which makes this album bad. So it's not good. Cold Sweat, a Thin Lizzy cover. Second best track on this piece of shit album.
Pretty much a cover. Yeah, you're back to doing covers. At least it's a good cover.
So we got bonus tracks too that were released on.
Yeah, why are you talking about bonus tracks? I'm pretty sure the bonus tracks aren't even good either.
They're not good. All I want to.
Oh God, pick on it! I knew they wouldn't be good either. Oh God.
So then we got A House Divided. Nah, not good. Not good. And the live version of Countdown to Extinction. But that's pretty much it for the bonus. I believe the bonus edition was released at Best Buy at the time.
Yeah. That's like at least when we go anywhere else and buy this, we don't get the bonus tracks or something like that. But yeah, this not shit. Well, it's not as bad as Risk, but it's shit. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good at all. Only listen to Cold Sweat and Kingmaker. That's it.
You really need to listen to.
Oh, and then whatever the song that was what I just said was Kingmaker Life, pretty much. That's it. 3 songs. They could have done an EP with those, but no. They chose to make a goddamn album of this goddamn crap.
Pretty much. More shit.
Yeah, it was okay. Basically, the point of all of this, it was so shit that Chris Broderick and Sean Drover left after this.
Yep.
And they would do their own band, one called Act of Defiance. So they got this. I forgot what his name, Derek. And then they got.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they also got From Shadows Fall, of all bands, Matt Balkin on bass. But I'm surprised they don't have him do clean singing. Matt Balkin's vocals are clean singing is great. Why couldn't they do that? But it's just like they used Derek, the Derek guy from Scarred and Martyr. What's his name? It was Derek from Scarred and Martyr, I believe, when he was with Joey and stuff like that.
Right.
So now we get some. Oh yes, continue.
Like he said, it drove Glenn Drover and Chris Broderick to pretty much quit because at first, before getting into Dystopia, actually Dave had other songs written prior to Dystopia in the beginning of the Dystopia writing session that were more commercial sounding.
Oh, thank God.
Dave scrapped them. Because
thank God he realized, this would have been even worse. This would have been even worse. This might have been even worse than Risk. So thank God he got rid of it. So then we get pretty much Kiko Liru from Ongra, a power metal band, and for just this one album, Chris Adler from The Lamb of God.
But I got to say something real quick about this album before we get to that.
Mm-hmm.
You got Glenn Drover, or not Glenn Drover, you got Chris Broderick, on guitars. This right here sounds amateur for Chris Broderick. That's all.
Yeah, it pissed him off. Really. But yeah, you get better musicians in the next album, pretty much.
Oh yeah, definitely. So moving on to Dystopia,
Dystopia.
which came out 2 years
2016,
ago.
I believe. 2016. This was around
Oh yeah,
early 2016. This might have been January, February, somewhere around there.
so yeah, I'm gonna look up the date now here. Dystopia came out on. I remember buying this when it came out. Oh
I
yeah, it
remember listening to it.
came out January 22nd, 2016, and this one is a huge improvement
Huge.
from
Yes.
Super Collider. So this is back on track here. So yeah, under
Yes.
Dystopia,
Yep. You got Kiko on the guitars. He comes over from Angra, a power metal band, pretty much.
yep,
And like I said, you got Chris Adler, the drummer from the now former drummer of Lamb of God. But he was only on this album. He essentially was a session drummer, pretty much.
pretty much. I mean, he was in the band for a little bit, but then he left because he just didn't have time to do Megadeth.
Yeah, it was like between Megadeth and Lamb of God, he chose Lamb of God,
Right.
which ended up will basically be it for him because he would then basically leave, and then we get what's his name, Art Cruz, I believe, on the drums after that.
Yep.
Pretty much. But yeah, this is his one and only album with him, and he was essentially a session drummer, pretty much. But my God, that album is easy.
So this freaking album definitely goes back to an older style of songwriting too. Kind of goes back to the Peace Cells days, to me at least, in a lot of the writing styles on this record. And definitely you get Rust in Peace. So yeah, this album is such an improvement over fucking Super Collider by far.
Yeah, pretty much.
So again, it comes out on Tradecraft Universal.
Again, yep.
And
Mm-hmm.
Chris Rakestraw, not really familiar with him.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with it.
So the first single released at the time was Fatal Illusion, and right away when I first heard it, I'm happy as shit.
Oh yes, yes. This was a hell of a song. It's even in a video. I know this was in a video game. Watch Dogs 1. It was one of the few songs you already get it already at the beginning of the game. And just recently hearing that back again, I was like, my God, it was so damn good.
Oh, by far, man. Oh, man, the opening track, The Threat is Real. Holy shit. You talk about some kick-ass fucking riffage on this track. Damn. Oh, man, there's just shredding throughout this fucking track.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You can tell Megadeth is back. The title track, Dystopia, reminds me of Hangar 18. It sounds like a part 2 of Hangar 18. Just the way it's structured, the riffing in it. Really, really good stuff, in my opinion. Fatal Illusion, thrashy, dark sounding. Sounds like it could have been on Peace Cells, but who's buying? Death from Within pretty much sounds like it could have been off of United Abomination or Endgame. Kind of reminds me of Sleepwalker a little bit. Bullet to the Brain. Another dark, heavy tune. It's pretty fucking kick-ass. Post-American World kind of slows it down a little bit. It's more mid-paced. Pretty damn good. Then Poisonous Shadows is a unique track. I think it's pretty progressive sounding. Like it's got some progressiveness to it. It's got like orchestrations in it. You can get piano on this track, which is kind of unique. Conqueror Dies, another kick-ass, thrashy, kick-ass tune. Lying in the State is really badass. The Emperor, a lot of people say that's probably the weakest track on here. I mean, I don't know, I don't mind it. And Foreign Policy is it's a cover track to end off the album. I'm just trying to think who originally did. Oh, Fear did it. The punk band Fear originally did Foreign Policy, and it's a fucking kick-ass cover. So yeah, first Megadeth album since So Far, So Good, So What to have a cover track on it, which is kind of unique. So yeah, this one definitely feels more like an older Megadeth album to me.
Yeah,
Obviously,
it was a hell of an album. Remember listening to it when we were. It was when I was still friends with Brody and stuff like that. We were listening to it, and I was still reviewing. I think I even reviewed it back in the day. I might have. I don't remember, but I know for a fact I might have reviewed that album. But I was like, this album is really a really great album. I love it.
so then we got bonus tracks on this freaking record too. So the Japanese version has a track called "Me Hate You," and oh god, that track kicks ass. Why wasn't on the regular version? I don't know. It's really fucking good though. So then you got the Best Buy edition, which I should have bought this back in 2016 when they had it, because it was like a limited box set with 2 other bonus tracks on here, or 3 other bonus tracks. Excuse me. Last Dying Wish, which was a pretty cool track. Look Who's Talking was the other bonus track, and what's the other one here? I know there's another one on here. At least I thought there was. Look Who's Talking, Conquer or Die. Oh yeah, Conquer or Die. I think that's the other. Or wait, that's not it. Oh yeah, Conquer or Die's an instrumental track. My bad. I think I forgot to mention that. That has like piano in it and acoustic guitars.
Yep.
I don't know why I can't find it.
But yeah, regardless of which version you get, the album is it's an awesome album.
Oh yeah, Me Hate You's the other bonus track. That's a killer track too. That could have easily been on the album. But yeah, this album is freaking great. Definitely a comeback album. I know over time it seems like a lot of people are shitting on this album. I don't understand why. To me, it's still freaking a great. To me, it's still a great.
It's a great album. Yeah, it's a great album. I liked it. I love it still. But now we get a little bit of a bigger gap here.
Yep.
Did some touring and stuff like that. Obviously, we said Chris Adler was only on this one album, so they end up getting, since I still have Soilwork on the mind, Dirk Verbeuren from Soilwork on the drums. And at least this would be a change up until recently, when a lot of stuff regarding Dave Ellefson, and we'll keep her name anonymous. We're having, I guess, something to do like a video call or something like that, and it was like all consensual and stuff like that. Basically, he had his dick out, pretty much.
Pretty much.
And he got ousted from Megadeth, and then they got, well, for all the touring and the photos and the music videos, they got James Lomenzo back. But on the album that we're about to talk about, they got Steve DiGiorgio on it.
That's right, 5 years in the making.
Well, yeah, 6. It's 6 years.
You're right, 6 years in the making, yes.
The longest gap between the longest gap between a Megadeth album.
Yep. Came out on September 2nd of this year, 2022, on Tradecraft Records again. Universal, same production team, Dave Mustaine and Chris Rakestraw.
Like I said, different people, basically. Different bassists, at least for just this album. Basically, Steve DiGiorgio, one of the greatest and best modern bassists of all time, is on this album. And there are some moments on the album that he shines on. And like I said, up until probably last night, I had not listened to this album. But after all this, I was in preparation for this. I'm pretty much the only one that had not talked about it. You had already talked about it. For me, this is literally my time to at least talk about it, because I have a good mind about this album, basically. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so now I'm looking at the track listings here, because I still have my Spotify pulled up. A few songs to me standout. The title track, because bear in mind, I listened to this right after I listened to the new Soilwork. So I have in mind, I already had listened to the new Soilwork, which, by the way, is awesome. Rest in peace, David. But when I was listening to the title track of the Dying and the Dead, I was like, I'm getting some melodic death metal vibes, like some Soilwork vibes. Because, like I said, I had Soilwork on the mind. Dirk Verbeuren is on this album and on the song playing drums on this, and he's from Soilwork. So I'm like, this sounds like something Soilwork could have done. There might be a few songs. This was one of those that I had on the top of my mind that was like that. I think another one that I thought might have had it, but there were two that had two great solo sections on this album. Junkie had a fantastic solo section between Kiko and Dave, but it was like those two songs that reminded me of High Speed Dirt back and forth. It was just like so damn good. The back and forth of the solos and stuff. There's some other good songs. I think Night Stalker, I think, was one of those that got a single. We'll Be Back is obviously killer. Mission to Mars was pretty awesome too. I kind of like Mission to Mars a little bit.
A lot of people seem to not really care for that track. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, I think Celebutante was the one that I was like, this kind of does have another Milo Death vibe to it a little bit. But like I said, I was like listening to this track. I was like, this. But yeah, sticking to the title track, clear as day, I remember this sounds like something Soilwork could have done easily. Or maybe it's something, maybe Dirk brought it to him, like, this is something I had done for Soilwork, why don't we use this? Maybe cool or something like that. It turned out to be pretty awesome. It's just like, Dave can't do the growls like Bjorn, though, and his cleans are not that great in comparison to Bjorn. But it's a hell of a song, the title track. It's just...
I think this album's a little better than Dystopia.
Oh, hell yeah, definitely a vast improvement. I would even argue, and this is kind of a rarity for me because normally I don't. This might get a 10 out of 10 from me.
It's really fucking good. I think I gave it like a 9.7 out of 10. But it could easily
it could easily be a 10 out of 10. The one I have pulled up on here has some bonus tracks like Big Police Truck and This Planet's on Fire. A Sammy Hagar song, and it has Sammy on here. I didn't even listen. I just wanted to listen to the normal album. The normal album in and of itself it's great. I would say it's almost perfect. It's almost perfect. Like I would definitely do a 9.7 to 9.75. It's definitely worthy of a 10 out of 10 easily.
I think this is a little better than Endgame too. I know that might be controversial. I don't know.
Yeah, I gave it. I like this one a little bit more than Endgame when I'm thinking about it.
To me, I don't know. I'd say right now it's the best modern Megadeth album.
You putting that in? That's in bold. Yeah, I would say in terms of the 2010s, I would say yes. I would absolutely say yes, definitely. Or even in the 2020s, because this is the first one in the 2020s. I would say yes. This is the best one in the 2020s.
And I said that about Dystopia 6 years ago, that I thought it was the best modern Megadeth album at the time. But I think.
And then this comes out recently. And it fucking just blows it out of the water. So let's just, I know you still got memories. So let's go through these track by track, pretty much.
Yeah. The Sick, the Dying, the Dead, great opener.
Yeah, like I said, this one was basically to me the mellow death. The Megadeth take on melodic death metal. It's just that Dave can't, for the life of him, can't beat someone like a Bjorn, Speed, Strid, or an Anders. He's got to do his thing. But the music on it, oh my fucking god, this sounds like something Soilwork could have easily done. Easily.
Yeah, I think I could see that comparison a little bit. Because the fucking twin guitar part in this freaking track is awesome.
Yeah, that is something like... Yeah, pretty much that sounds like something David and Sylvan could have done easily. Easily, without a doubt.
Oh, by far.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I would love to see I would love to see Soilwork try to cover this. I would love to see a version where Soilwork does this song, "The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead." It would be pretty damn awesome if they did it, because it totally has that. It has that Soilwork vibe so much. It just needs the better vocals. No, like nothing against Dave, but Bjorn blows Dave out of the water with his vocals, both growls and cleans. I mean, come on, he's one of the best melodic death metal singers of all time.
Oh, totally, exactly. And I'm going to say right now, Dirk's a better drummer than Sean Drover. Sean Drover was good, don't get me wrong.
Dirk is just, Dirk's a fucking beat. And there are, like I said, moments of where his drumming just sounds like something he would be doing in Soilwork. And it's just, it brings me back to Soilwork. But then again, coming into this, I had listened to the new Soilwork. So there's pretty much.
Yep, and after seeing him live this past Saturday, I can definitely attest that Derek's a better drummer. He was freaking amazing.
I will not say, in terms of the top, I would definitely say out of all the orders of Megadeth drummers, maybe number 2 behind Nick Menza.
Yeah.
There's nothing topping Nick Menza, though. But Dirk is Nick Menza is the best Megadeth drummer. Dirk is a solid enough. Yeah, Dirk is the best since Nick Menza, but he's nowhere near the level of Nick Menza. But Dirk, in and of himself, is a fantastic drummer. He's probably the best modern drummer around. It's that freaking close. It's like literally a hair away from being number 1. It's that freaking close. It's right there on his heels, pretty much.
Oh no, that's tough with me because Gar Samuelson was another excellent drummer. He was.
I'd say Dirk's better than Garth, but not better than Nick. No way.
I mean, yeah, I could probably see that. I mean, because he's a fucking. And this would have been my second time seeing Dirk play drums. Because I.
When was the first when he was with Soilwork? I'm assuming.
Yeah, back in 2005, I got to see him play drums.
Oh wow.
Soilwork, so
nice.
Just an incredible drummer. All right, then we move on to Life in Hell. Oh, jeez,
trashy, trash, all the way through trash, fucking trash.
Yeah, this song just makes you want to fucking start punching people in the face. it's so trash.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, the shit on here that's thrashy. Now, this sounds like early, like Killing Is My Business type of Megadeth.
It's like,
fast, at least.
Yeah, it's. We get Night Stalker next, one of the singles that was released.
Yep, and the thrash continues on, man. This is another fucking track. I forgot to mention, too, before we move too far in this album, in this period, too, Dave Mustaine had throat cancer. And thank goodness he beat it, you know.
Yeah. This is only the second time an album ends up being damn near perfect, all because the singer had some throat cancer. The last time it happened, Bruce Dickinson. And he and Nair made a masterpiece in the Book of Soul.
That's another
thing. So it could be...
I think
if you end up having... if you have throat cancer, chances are the next album that you had before you had the throat cancer might end up being a 10 out of 10, pretty much.
Right.
It's a recipe for success. Throat cancer is like, I come to save your career, maybe give you a 10 out of 10 album.
I think his voice is definitely improved on this freaking album, too.
Oh, it's so good. We're Night Stalkers.
Night Stalkers. You get a guest appearance from Ice-T, too, on this track. Which
spoken word.
I think his spoken word part's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty damn. His spoken word part is pretty damn awesome.
And this might be the longest Megadeth track. It's almost 7 minutes long.
Dogs in Chernobyl?
No, Night Stalker. Well, it's almost. I think it's 7 minutes. It's just good. Talk about some damn good guitars. I'll tell you what, too. I think this album has some of the best solos, too.
Yeah, I would say there's 2 songs that at least have better solo sections than Night Stalker. But Night Stalker has a good solo section.
Oh, yeah. Oh, where are we at here? Adults of Chernobyl. Oh, I love this track too. Adults of
Yeah, I was like, I hear of this thing. I'm like, this has something to do with Chernobyl because the whole naming with the Chernobyl thing, the whole that nuclear disaster and stuff like that. I feel like this has something to do with that. It's kind of an interesting song you want to sing about that. It's like, wow, that's kind of interesting. Interesting subject to talk about. You want to sing something about Chernobyl and the nuclear disaster of the 1986, late 1980 or something like that.
So this track, yeah, and to me this track has like a progressive vibe to it. It's pretty progressive, but then it turns into a full throttle thrasher at the end of it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this track. So then we get into Sacrifice. I think it's another pretty damn good track.
Yeah.
Lyrically, it's quite dark, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Sacrifice. Junkie's kind of interesting.
Yeah, like I said, the solo section of this song made me think high-speed third levels of freaking solo of a solo section. Fucking the back and forth between Kiko and Dave. That's the reason I think of Junkie. It's an interesting lyrically, but that solo section just perfection. It's like I got freaking it's nail only. It's chef's kiss.
Like initially,
yes.
I thought this was probably the weakest track on the album.
Then the solo section. Yeah, then after you heard the solo section, oh, yeah, I was the same. Then the solo. I was the same. Then the solo section happened. I'm like, that's so damn good.
Oh yeah, it's fucking excellent. So yeah, Junkie. Yeah, it's definitely a grower for sure. What else do we got? Psychopathy's just like a little minute-long interlude.
Yeah, it was just not that was good. It's interesting, but it's just a minute-long kind of little interlude song. And then we get into Killing Time.
So yeah, we go into now this track. I'm watching Countdown.
Oh, Countdown?
Well, it reminds me of the track. It kind of reminds me of This Was My Life, or how the story ends from Endgame. Like, yeah, something like that. Pretty
interesting.
Track. It's got some pretty damn good guitar solos in it too.
Yes.
Soldier On. Oh, fuck.
Another one of the one. I think this was wasn't this a single too? I guess it was a single. Yeah, it was.
And they played it live when I seen them on Saturday.
Nice.
It was fucking awesome live. Fucking Dirk's fucking kick drums on this track. Yeah, this track kind of reminds me of something off of United Abomination or Endgame.
Interesting. Yeah, the interesting lyric-wise, it's like you're seeing. I remember there's a line of a soldier on or something. I mean, it's something to do, mankind killing each other, but I'm a soldier on or something like that. It's kind of an interesting lyrically. It's very, very interesting.
It's kind of positive too. Like, I'm just gonna keep soldiering on, no matter how bad shit gets. Yeah,
it's kind of a negative and positive a little bit. You're killing your fellow brethren, your mankind, fellow human, basically, and stuff. But you just gotta soldier on, pretty much.
I know the end of this track fucking made me laugh. That little marching part.
Oh yeah, that was like I heard that. I'm like, what the hell? It was like a kind of a confused moment. I got a confused moment. I'm like, okay.
I got no job, but I got long hair. I got no job, but I got.
Oh, but I got no hair. Yeah, but it was just like.
I got no woman waiting back at home. I got no woman waiting back at home. It just made me laugh.
Yeah, I was just like, what is that? Yeah, I was thinking stupid. I'm not having to see it funny. I'm like, what the hell is this stuff?
So yeah, we're definitely getting humorous Dave on at the end of this track. And on
Junkie, then we got.
I thought Dave was pretty humorous on Junkie.
Yeah, and then we get into the other moment where basically high-speed third part, the other high-speed third solo section, Celebutante.
Oh, this might be my favorite on the album. I love it.
Oh, So I say this and the title track are probably my favorites on this album. It's
This has my favorite solos, I think, on the album.
yeah, this is what they did. They take what they did. They did what they did on Junkie, and they said, "Why don't we put it in this one too?" But it's, at least Tom has a little bit better. The solo section was the redeeming part of Junkie. The solo, they moved that and put it over, and they also put it into Celebutant, and it's just.
Yep. Oh, it's freaking good. Oh
Yeah.
man, just too good. Mission to
Then we get
Mars.
to Mars. Interesting song. This was kind of an interesting, kind of maybe prog, kind of a little bit prog, a little bit. Some the melodic depth is coming back in this one too.
I know the one main riff that kind of sounds like Hangar 18 a little bit.
Yeah, there's some hard rock, some metal. Yeah, there's some Hangar 18 stuff. There's some pretty much some proggy stuff going on this and stuff. Some Megadeth on here.
So this is another one too that kind of has that Dave Mustaine humor to it. Mission to Mars, especially the part where Dave goes, "Hello, lady," or how do you say it? Oh yeah, "Hello, ladies." "Hello, Dave," or something like that, something goofy like that.
Oh God, yeah, he's just like he's back to the goofy self pretty much.
I enjoy the track. I know a lot of people don't care for it. I don't know. I like it.
I like Mission to Mars. It's an awesome track. I like it. Probably one of the highlights on there. That, Celebutant, and friggin' the title track are the highlights.
It's got a really cool thrashy section too near the end too. So
yeah, but you get some.
It's good.
You got a lot of mixture, a lot of different genres on there. Like I do think Megadeth. I hear some prog in there. I hear some hard rock, some metal. Some there's just a lot of different things. And I don't know. This is probably a short song, wasn't it? This had been a short song.
Let's see what the length is for that track. Mission
It's gonna be around.
That's longer than I thought. 5 minutes and 24 seconds.
Okay, yeah, they crammed all of that into a 5-minute track. I was like, hey, this is interesting. I kind of actually like this because there's a lot of experimentation on this. I actually like to see something like. I actually like to see them try more stuff like a Mission to Mars, like the title track, more like some trying to do with the Megadeth. Hell, bring him Beyond if you want to. Maybe him doing a guest vocal on a Megadeth song. Could you imagine that? That would be freaking awesome.
I forgot to mention too, on Soldier On, you get a little bit of a blast beat in the track too.
Well, that's Dirk. Dirk can do that. In fact, he's done that in Soil Work, for Christ's sake.
Fucking good, man. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Mission to Mars is really good stuff. Then the final track. The first
We'll be back. I thought the transition from Mission to Mars to We'll Be Back kind of goes well. I always thought this could go well with Mission to Mars. It kind of bleeds into it. Because I always think like this could be Mission to Mars Part 2. It's just maybe a few released sometime later down the road. And then basically those that were trapped on Mars get their revenge or whatever is out there. And we'll be back and we'll get the revenge or something like that. I thought these two work well together pretty much. Kind of like, the thing I think about is like taking the Queen and Dark Side of Aquarius from Bruce Dickinson on Accident Birth. They work well together. These two kind of work really well together, pretty much. Like they gel well with each other.
Definitely, I agree. So yeah, We'll Be Back. Another just thrashy, fast dude.
Yes.
Fuck, the guitar work on this track is so fucking good.
Yeah. I definitely say a great way to end the album, the regular album. There is the bonus track, or at least the ones that I'm seeing on here on Spotify that I got. Pretty much Police Truck and the Sammy Hagar cover, with Sammy Hagar being featured in there.
So I'm just looking at the writing credits on the album now. So Dirk has a writing credit on Life in Hell.
Interesting.
Oh, and he has a writing credit on Night Stalker, too.
Interesting. That's very interesting. I would have thought he might have had a writing credit on the title track, because that sounds so much like Soil Work. I would have thought he would have had a writing credit on that.
No, ironically, that track was just written by Dave Mustaine. Ain't that kind of weird?
Maybe he mentioned it today. Like, maybe we could try this style out. Maybe try something like what I did in Soil Work. Maybe it was just a mention or something like that.
So Kiko, he has writing credits on Night Stalker. I'm just looking here. Dogs of Chernobyl, Sacrifice, Psychopathy, Killing Time, Celebutante.
Ah, awesome! He did one. He helped with that. Oh, nice. And what about We'll Be?
And yep, we'll be back. So he's got writing credits on 8 of the tracks on the album.
Yeah, Celebutante being one of those. I'm kind of glad Kiko brought that up and stuff like that. But I was kind of surprised with Dirk only bringing up some of those other ones, Life in Hell and then Night Stalker. That's kind of interesting. I would have thought he might have had help with writing the title track or something like that. That surprised me. It was only Mustaine.
Right. So which is really cool. I mean, at least Dave's like letting him write. Hey man, you got a talent like that in a band, you better let him write, you know?
Yeah, you got guys like Kiko and freaking Dirk. You better let them freaking write because they know what the fuck they're doing.
Exactly. So I would definitely say this Megadeth lineup is easily the best since that classic lineup with Marty.
Yeah, the golden lineup. Yeah, this is the new golden lineup, pretty much.
Oh, fuck.
And you got James Lamento and stuff like that. Even though this is for only one album with Steve on the bass, but he even had, I think he had a feature on one of the songs. I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was one of the later ones. He had his bass was featured in the beginning of the song, but I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, I can't exactly remember either.
Was it Celebutante? It might have been Celebutante.
Maybe it was.
Or maybe Mission to Margot. It might have been one of the later songs on the album.
So yeah, yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I might have to look into finding out which one it was, pretty much.
Well, I wouldn't argue that. This could be Rust in Peace 2.0. I wouldn't argue that at all. That's what Wyatt in the chat was saying.
Nice to see you in here, Wyatt.
Oh yeah, definitely. Who else is in here? Cranges. I can pronounce it.
Cranges. Speaking, Dominic.
Here you have Dominic Matheson.
Yeah, we haven't been talking about this weekend. Yeah, I am now thinking about this. I do give this album a 10 out of 10. I was hesitant about Endgame because it does have a few moments where I was like, there's not perfect moments or something. This had moments where there was not even a weak moment on this. I definitely would give this the first Megadeth album since Rust in Peace to get a 10 out of 10 easily. And we gotta basically thank Throat Cancer for giving Megadeth another 10 out of 10 album.
Yeah, this was definitely 6.5 years of well worth waiting for.
Yeah, basically, this is basically, in a nutshell, Rust in Peace 2.0. It's freaking...
I think I would agree, yeah.
It's a fantastic... If I'm going to say it's going to be top 10, I definitely think that, yes. Yeah. Top 5? That could be... I wouldn't say that, because I'm still high. I prefer the Soilwork album over this. I prefer the new Fallujah album over this. Hell, I might even prefer the new Devin Townsend when it comes out over this. I definitely could say this could easily be top 5, easily, without a doubt.
Oh, totally, easily. So yeah, I totally agree. Well, so what time is it, anyways?
11:38. Just 24 minutes till my birthday.
Ooh. So what we're gonna do is I think I might do a stream over on my other channel.
It's a vlog-based birthday stream!
Fucking right, motherfuckers. Oh yeah, we did one.
I'm up at least.
We'll do one.
Yeah, but now we're doing... Woohoo! Dagamon, I'm gonna be 32 here in 24 minutes!
32 years old.
I'm old! I'm getting up there in age now!
I used to be 32 years old at one time.
What happened? You might have been... Wait, what year was this? Okay, so you would have 11. Okay, you would have been 11. Oh, 2011. pretty much.
And let's see. Yeah, you're right. Because I'm 40.
I would have been.
Yeah.
I would have been turning 21 at that point. I would have had my first legal beer.
Oh, damn. Oh shit.
I think it was a Budweiser when I had my first legal beer.
Damn.
All because I love Down Junior pretty much.
So yeah, what I'll do is I'll set up another stream for over on the Metal Ben's Chronicles channel, and we can go stream over there and do a fun.
I just set up. Yep.
It only would take me
fun birthday.
Up.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah, I'm glad we got to do this Megadeth thing just a day before my birthday, and I'm glad I got to at least have closure about talking about the new Megadeth, because I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna listen to the new Megadeth, pretty much.
And well worth it.
And I enjoyed it quite a lot. Definitely the best thing they've done in years, pretty much. And I love this.
It's an epic album. But anyways, yep, I'll see you guys over on the Metal Ben's Chronicles channel if you're going to come over.
Yes. Yeah. And we can celebrate my birthday for a few hours. All right. Oh.
And thank you guys who joined in and have sent pretty awesome comments for this. And yeah, I'll see you guys in 10 minutes or so. All right, guys, we are done over here for tonight. And that's part 2 of the Megadeth discography. Hopefully it doesn't take another 6 years for the next Megadeth album to come out.
Yes.
All right, so that's it for tonight. And I'll see you guys over on the other channel if you're going to be over there.
Yep. I know I'll be over there. We'll be celebrating my birthday. Woo-hoo!
Oh, yeah.